Morning, truckers. Let's get started with a few of the questions and answers. I got fewer this week than what I normally have, so maybe I've answered most questions that concerns people. I'm thirsty. Remember me talking about the crack ceilings and getting the garage insulated and getting your lanai insulated to help prevent that problem? Just so you know, has nothing to do with these questions. I've got a guy coming today. I found out the other day that a neighbor of mine had his garage insulated and his lanai insulated, and I went over and checked it out. Looked pretty good. I know what they charged him. I'm not going to say until I get done here. But anyway, I called that company. The guy is supposed to be here today around 12:30-ish. I won't hold him to the exact time, obviously, but he's going to look at my attic and my lanai and give me a price, and I'm probably going to have it done. So once I do, I'll try to video as much as I can. I don't want to get in these guys' way. If they do me a great job at a real reasonable price, you know, I don't know if I want to say anything on the YouTube about it, even though I don't see a problem there, but I'll ask him if he minds. But I can recommend him to other people. And, well, anyway, we're going to get her done. Ain't that what the comedian always says? Get her done. All right, let's get on with this. Jim W. Are roads narrower in Feeney, or Fenny, as I call it Feeney. I don't know why I keep doing that. I know how it's pronounced. It's Fenny, like penny, but I keep saying Feeney. Anyway, no, Jim. It may have looked that way maybe on my videos. I didn't really pay attention. We were just driving around. I don't know what roads you're talking about, truthfully. I drove through a lot of roads. I don't remember all the roads. Now, that one road we were on was not actually a Fenny road. It was a county road that happens to go through parts of Fenny. That's a difference. The roads in Fenny is planned. And so by sharing the road with golf carts and things like that, they're a little wider than normal because part of that road is marked off as a golf cart lane. Cars are not supposed to be driving in that golf cart lane. But the one road that we had to turn around on, I'm thinking maybe that's the road that you're thinking of. That's a county road. That has nothing to do with Fenny. And now that I think about it, that road might have been a little narrower because, well, it looks narrow. It's a standard size road, but it doesn't have a golf cart lane on that road. Probably because you're not going to be allowed to put a golf cart on that road legally, a regular golf cart. I don't know what the speed limit is on that road, so then that's what determines it, the speed limits on roads. You'll be able to cross that road probably, but you won't be able to be on that road unless they put a tunnel in, and that's a possibility. They may put a tunnel in underneath of that road if you're not allowed to be on it. So, but the rest of the roads in Feeney, getting back to your original questions, no, they seem just as wide as they are here. Golf cart trails are shared with a lot of the roads that are there. Fenny Way is the main road, and it's got golf carts on each side, trails. So, no, it looked fine. Our problem was getting in and out of the different neighborhoods to get video of some of these open houses that were there. And I knew the real estate lady down there, and she just kind of, you know, without saying a whole lot, because I don't want to get anybody in trouble here, I was able to show you homes that were not open to the public yet and give you a general idea what they look like. And that gets into another question when a guy kept, I had several questions on that Whispering Pine that I shown. They wanted to know how much was that house. I don't know. The house wasn't available to the public yet. And they don't know until the developer releases those homes for sale. Now those homes, I'm stuttering. Those homes are for sale, but she'd have to pull the main, I guess you call it the master sheet for that neighborhood out and go down to and they don't go by the type of home it is, they'll go by the address. And on that paper will tell them how much that home's going to be. Keep in mind, it's a brand new home. The price on those homes are non-negotiable. Take it or leave it. And when they empty out a neighborhood, if there's only one or two homes left that don't sell for some reason as fast as they think they should, those are the homes that sometimes they'll come in with a special deal. And I've seen all kinds of deals where in our neighborhood, there was about 2 or 3 of them that didn't sell. They were like the last 3 in the whole neighborhood, and they wanted to empty the neighborhood out so they can move on somewhere else. They give them a 6% discount on buying the home. After that, somewhere, I forget where I saw it, but it was if you bought a new home in that neighborhood, it said the way the advertisement went was you got a free golf cart with that home. Now, a standard stripped out golf cart is going to cost around, I don't know, $6,000-7,000-ish before all the add-ons. I'm assuming that's what they're going to give you, $6,000-7,000 to go to a Yamaha kart shop and use that money as a down payment for a golf cart. But I swear to you, if you buy a new golf cart, that's only going to be the start of it. By the time you get done with all the little things that you don't know about yet, but ask anybody that's been here for a while, by the time you get done with the little extra stuff that you have to have or just want, you're talking $12,000-13,000, give or take, for a cart. For a brand new one. Gas, Yamaha. And in my mind, that's the only one to get. Okay, let's go on with there. Rules on the golf cart paths. Can you have bicycles Genie, or it's either Genie or Gene R? Yeah, Gene. They changed them. They're not called cart paths anymore. Throughout the villages now, it's called a multi-mogul trail. And they're used for everything. I make fun of it because in my mind, it's an accident waiting to happen. I mean, you can pass a rule saying, well, now you can do this or that. But my grandpa had a famous saying that I never forgot, and it lived with me till this day. He said, just because you can, don't mean you should. And there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, you can say that little kids can ride tricycles on the golf cart path. It's legal. But should you? I'm not too sure about that. So, yeah, anything can be on the golf cart path. Bicycles. And we see a lot of bicycles in the wintertime. In most cases, most of the bicycles are not a problem. Most of them, ride on their side, and they're courteous, and everybody, is fine. It's just the handfuls of them that want to ride on the golf cart paths, and there'll be 15 or 20 of them in a group. And they take up the whole golf cart path. And they won't get out of the way, and the golf cart can't get around, and the golf cart can't pass, and you're just kind of stuck behind them. And I just think it's rude. That's just my opinion. I understand they got rights and all this and that. I got no problem with that, but it's just rude. And they also ride on the roads, and that's fine. I mean, they got the legal right to be on the road. I wouldn't ride a bike on the road down here. You're taking your life in your own hands around here. I was a big motorcyclist for years, my wife and I. I mean, we traveled on our vacations by bike. We did a lot with our friends. We go in groups to different places. So, we rode, I would say, considerably safety-minded all the time. We had CBs on our bikes where we could talk through our helmet to the guy in front of us or behind us to find if somebody was having trouble, somebody needed to stop. We all knew what was going on. Also, we didn't ride side by side on a highway, which I know you can. It's legal. But once again, should you? It just seemed like a dangerous thing to do. If a guy next to you has a problem, like a sudden blowout of a tire, and you're sitting right next to him, I don't think so. So we staggered. kind of like this, lead bike, and the bike be behind him like this. Inside lane, outside lane. Inside lane, you see what I'm getting at? That's how we rode. And we never had a problem. The cars could get around us. If we was on a 2-lane road, then we would, if there was a few of us, then we'd have 2 or 3 or 4 of them in a group, and then we would have a big gap, and then 2 or 3 or 4 more. So a car, if wanted to go around, had plenty of room to get in and out. But a lot of these bicyclists, they just don't follow the rules. I used to be a gate guard, and I witnessed a lot of stuff. Like the bicyclists are always trying to squeeze between the gates and the I don't know what you call it, but the gates here. You got this pole here, post, and then the gate comes down here. There's a gap right here. Bicyclists are always squeezing through there to keep going. They don't want to stop. It's against the rule. They know it's against the rule. And they're always doing it though, and it's a constant complaint. It's nothing, as a gate guard, nothing I can really do about it, except report it and let the village's powers that be, let them handle the situation. And they have all kinds of classes down here for bicyclists about certain things to do and this and that. But in the wintertime, just be very careful. That's the only thing I'm saying. Just be very careful and use your common sense. How many times have I said that? Use your common sense and you will be just fine. Golf carts get stolen. I haven't really heard of any bicycles being stolen down here. Isn't that weird? Some of these bicycles are thousands of dollars. But golf carts get stolen all the time. I won't say all the time. I shouldn't say that. They have certain spells. There'll be 2 or 3 of them stolen 1 month. Then you don't hear nothing for 6 months. But yeah, they get stolen fairly regular. But bicycles, nah, never heard of one being stolen. So there you go. But have fun on your bicycle. That's the main thing when you come down. Just have fun. And there's all kinds of clubs, bicycle clubs. The brown fence down there at Finney, boy, I sure got a lot of emails about that. And I'll say 75% of you did not like the brown fence around them houses. I'll go along with you. I'm not a fan of it either. One guy mentioned the crossbreeds in the Lanai. That's the first thing I thought of too. When you're out in that Lanai, it's okay to have maybe some privacy bushes here and there. Most people will plant them privacy bushes for some reason right up against the screen and then keep them trimmed because that way don't tear the screen up. But here's the problem you have with that. If you can get by with this, I say as soon as you move in, if those bushes are planted right up next to the lanai, and make sure you're planting them where they need to be, because there's a legal place to put them, and you can only go so far out or something. I forget what you have to check your deed restrictions. Check that. But when they're that close to the lanai, and once they get matured, and they're up 5-6 feet in the air to give you the privacy you're wanting from your neighbor to seclude you, you're also not getting any breeze. It's like it's like a wall. It blocks the breeze. Those fences are going to do the same thing. That whole backyard's fenced in on each side of you and behind you. You're going to sit out there. You'll get somewhat of a breeze through there. You know, I mean, it isn't like a door shutting, but it's going to restrict it quite a bit. And that's the whole idea of lanai, especially, I'll say in the fall weather or the spring weather when we're talking 75, 80-ish temperatures, not super hot. You sit out there, if you've got an east-facing lanai, you're pretty much going to be shaded. As soon as the sun gets up to about the 9 or 10 o'clock position, you're shaded for the rest of the day. So that breeze is kind of nice. If you don't have that, it can get awful stifling hot out there, and you're going to have fans out there doing your thing. But I can also see where that little fenced-in backyard is nice if you have a dog and you're wanting to go outside and have a cup of coffee and let your dog just kind of roam around the yard and do his thing in the morning and not have to worry about him getting out. So it's, I guess it's just, it's just a matter of choice. But I will say the homes down there, they've been redesigned. The Whispering Pine down there did not look like the Whispering Pines that I've seen up here. I like that one down there a lot compared to the ones up here. Very, very nice. I just want you to know that right up front. Very nice. I could have lived in that house. The fence, kind of a bummer for me. But I guess I could make do if I had to, but I don't have to. So, okay. How much for that Whispering Pine? Well, there again, no, I don't know, because it wasn't open to the public. I just got kind of special access to go in there. And I think the reason why she gave me special access is because I gave her a cell that day, and she recognized me when I went in there. And so she just kind of gave me a little extra treatment, you might say, to take some more video. And that was one of them. I don't know what that house was. You'd have to call a salesman, tell him you're interested in that Whispering Pine. That was in Finney. I wish I could tell you the name of that road. I don't even know the name of the road. Sweet something. I'd have to get the map out to look. It might even be on our website by now. I don't know. But if I had to take a guess, and I don't even want to do that, because I'll be totally off, and I'll get 15 people sending me emails telling me how far off I was, and no, you have to call a real estate guy and ask them. That's their job. Lewis H., concerned about sinkholes. Am I concerned about sinkholes? No, Lewis. Sinkholes can strike anytime, anywhere in the state of Florida. Some people, I think, got the idea that these sinkholes are happening only in the villages here for some reason. No, they're everywhere. And they're not even restricted to the state of Florida. You just don't hear about them as much in the other states because they don't have that as many as we do. But sinkholes are happening everywhere. They happened in Kentucky a few years ago. Several of them happened in Indiana. One of them happened right downtown Indianapolis, where the street caved in. They don't call them sinkholes up there. They call them a lot of other these weird. I don't think they want to use that word for whatever reason, but yeah. But no, they don't concern me. I lived in the middle of Tornado Alley, and tornadoes, like everybody knows, springtime is when they really hit. And they could hit anywhere at any time. You don't know. But does that mean I'm concerned about tornadoes when I'm up there? No. I know that the odds are they're never going to hit me. But I also know that if they do, I've got a safety spot in the house to go to. And I also know I've got insurance to take care of the house and my loss when it happens. Same thing here. I've got sinkhole insurance and I've got catastrophic ground collapse. You might say my ass is covered. Do I want a sinkhole to hit here? No. Can it? Yes. Is the high probability of it hitting me? No. No more than it is anywhere else. But it could happen. Now, the common denominator of sinkholes, I've noticed, is they most generally occur during rainy season, after hard rains that last for days and days and days, and we haven't really hit that yet, but we have had some rain down here off and on, and I find the sinkholes that's popping up seems a little unusual to me right now, but the ground seems wet. I don't know why. The ground seems wet. Even on the golf courses we're walking on, and we're noticing how spongy they are, and it just seems kind of weird, but it is what it is. But yeah, now sinkholes is just, there's nothing you can do. It's a God-given thing, and it just happens. So just get insurance and just cover your butt in case it does. The other denominator I've noticed, common denominator, it seems like most of them always occur around a watery area, like a swamp or a retention pond. I'm not saying they all do. I'm just saying I just noticed it seems like that's what happens. And the one they had up north here, a week ago that I reported on, where 2 people was kept out of their home, maybe it was 2 weeks ago. They're still out of their homes. They still can't go back to their home. And the sinkhole, it was talking about not only the ones that happened in the yard, but it happened to a retention pond right there, and it drained the retention pond. So I haven't been up there, but it just sounds like that across the street or behind them or someplace, there's a retention pond. So sometimes the waterfront views that people like to pay high dollar for, they're pricey in more than one reason. It can be pricey to buy, and they can be pricey in case you get a sinkhole because of it. And then just because you got water today, one sinkhole can take that water view totally away from you. So I don't know what to tell you other than no, I'm not really concerned about it. I'm just aware of it. Vicky S. She's interested in buying a villa down here, and I guess she came down on a lifestyle visit, Vicky. I think that's what you said. I didn't write it down. But anyway, you said that you went through a few of them because you're interested in it, and they seemed awful quiet. Yeah, Vicky, the winter time, the villas are only thing you can live in them full time. I just want to get that right out of the way. You can live in a villa. There's two basic types, a patio villa and a courtyard villa. And you can live in either one of them. I don't care if they're 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom, makes no difference. You could live in them full time. And I know people that do. They live in them full time. Most of them are single. A woman that's lost her husband, she's by herself, she's got a nice 2-bedroom villa, she doesn't need any more. Or a courtyard villa, whatever. But yes, you could live in them full time. The thing about the villa areas they're perfect for the part-timer. They literally are. There's not a lot of maintenance to them to keep them going. If you have to hire somebody to mow what little yard you got, he's probably not going to charge you a tremendous amount of money to do it for you. They're nice. Some of them can be very pricey, but they're very nice. They get quiet in the summer, very quiet, because it's very possible. And I had a patio villa that I used for vacation time, and when we came down in the summertime, I don't know how many people actually was in the neighborhood when I don't even know how many patio villas was in the neighborhood, but I'm going to take a guess and say there might have been somewhere between 65 to maybe 85 patio villas in that neighborhood. And in the summertime, when Sue and I would go down on vacation, I'm going to say 65% of the neighborhood was empty. 35% of the people were there. The full-timers were there. I obviously was a part-timer. And you just didn't see anybody. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in buying a patio villa. If you're the type of person that really likes to have neighbors around all the time, they can't guarantee that in any kind of a villa neighborhood, because most of them are part-timers, and come April, most of them start heading back home, April or May. And then you're left in a neighborhood all summer long with just you and a handful of other people. If you like it, the neighborhood is quiet and not a lot of car traffic and golf cart traffic noise going up and down the road and things like that, you'll love it, because it's very quiet 8 months out of the year. 4 months out of the year, it's a villa area. You're going to have people coming down in the wintertime having fun. So you're going to hear noise in the lanai where people are playing cards or having a party or anything like that. You're going to hear more, of course, golf carts going up and down the road. You're going to hear more cars going up and down the road. And you're going to get into the parking situation that I've talked about. People will be parking on the street. People will have company coming over to play cards. And so all of them will park on the street. You'll see 3 or 4 cars on the street. And if a neighbor across the street's not paying attention, if they have a guest parks on the street, if you have a car parked here and a car parked here, the villa roads are narrow. That means there's not enough room in that road for anybody to get through. And that happens a lot. That's my only complaint about villa neighborhoods. I had the same problem in my neighborhood. Most of the people in our neighborhood was very, very conscious of it. But once in a while, it become a problem. So just be aware of that. Shooter's World. Ken R. was asking about Shooter's World. Ken, I do have to get over there and take some video and show you where they're at. Yeah, they're building it. It's there. I don't think they've started building the building yet. Last time I was over there, been 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe longer. But the area was bulldozed down. They're moving dirt. There was a sign there saying future world or future home of Shooter's World. And I didn't really pay a lot of attention on, you know, what was there and what wasn't, because there's going to be other stuff there too. But yeah, they're working on it. I don't know the construction schedule, when they're hoping to be done. I don't know if they've even announced it. Maybe they have. If somebody else out there knows what the opening date is targeted to be, you know, leave a comment down below and let Ken know. Because some of these things I read about and I want to make mention about them, but then I forget. And just after I said that, something just dawned on me that I don't know if I mentioned before. I meant to, but I may have forgot, but I'm going to do it again. Is where 468 goes across. Go to the video where I showed you the map where 468 and 301 and how the bridges are going to be constructed and where and so on and so forth. Well, where 468 junctions to 301 right there, a mile, I think he said a mile south, I think it was a mile south, from that junction point, they're going to build a cell tower. So now I was been in Wi-Fi 2 or 3 times, and I got to tell you, the cell phone is really spotty down there. We were sitting in the Finney Bar and Grill the other day, and there was 3 of us, and we're looking at our phone. Nobody had service. We couldn't even call anybody. So they're building a tower. AT&T will probably be on it also. All of them will probably end up paying rent to be on this thing. Verizon, I think, is building the tower. So when they get that up, and I don't know what the time frame is on that, but when they get that up and going, that should considerably help not only your cell service in the Finney area and the Southern Oaks area, but I'm hoping that even helps our cell service in this area too, because there are certain areas in between Wildwood and Brownwood where our cell service is a little, I haven't really lost cell service, but I'll go from 3 bars to 1 and it'll stay at 1. And then sometimes it'll go away, but then come right back. So yeah, hopefully they'll get that up and get it going and everybody will be okay from that point on. Well, I believe that's all the questions I had this week. I think that's all the information I got. I'll see what I can do about getting some more home tours going. I got one for next week and I got one for the week after that's already up. So every Monday for the next 2 weeks, there'll be a new one. I got one of a veranda. For those of you who are interested in verandas, I wanted to see what they were. So my wife and I went and walked through a veranda. I got to tell you, the veranda we walked through was probably nicer than most of them. Maybe not. Maybe they all look like this. But it was very, very nice. Yeah, you'll like it. So until then, I guess I'll see you all on the other side.